What's going on, bass players? It's your boy Ray J, coming at you another Basement Boy Productions from the fifth flow. I want to talk to my family today. We really never had that personal time with me talking to you and you leaving your comments and everything. And I think that is necessary, being as though I've been giving you lessons. Y'all been commenting and subscribing and liking and being faithful followers. I wanted to give y'all something more than just a base lesson. I just want to actually talk to you and tell you about my journey, some of the things I've learned, so that if you want to, you can incorporate the advice that I'm about to spew to you into your life. Okay, so the lesson is going to, well, the talk is going to be how to get the most out of your playing. Before you start practicing, after you watch this video, or while you watch, well, after, because I want you to listen to what I'm saying. Before you practice, after you listen to the video, I want you to sit down and ask yourself, how good do I want to be playing the bass? Or how good of a bass player do I want to be? How good of a bass player do I want to be? Or how serious do I want to take this bass playing? I want you to ask yourself those two questions. And if you don't want to really take it that serious, it's going to show in your bass playing. If you're just doing it because maybe you have to, or not really, just to pick up something. If you're going to do it, you might as well do it wholeheartedly. So if you don't really take it that serious, but you're spending time to it, you might as well take it that serious, because it will show up in your playing. And you can't use the excuse, I didn't want to do it. So now that we're taking it seriously, no matter what level you want to be on, you want to ask yourself, how good, what level do I want to reach or max out at on my bass playing? Do you just want to be someone, I play at home. I really don't play out on gigs at churches or open mics and everything. That's okay. Or I play at some churches, really never play for anybody big or not in front of a lot of people, just here and there. That's okay. Oh yeah, I play at a few churches, get calls to play with choirs, go on the road a little bit, play at the open mics. Any artists come to town, that's good too. Oh yeah, man, I'm about to tour with Mary J. Got a call to do a music video with Rolling Stones. No, they're not relevant. Or I'm about to audition for Miley Cyrus or Kim Burrell or whoever. No matter what your level is, you want to ask yourself, what level do you want to be at? Because that is going to tell you how seriously or how you should approach your bass playing. Now, if you want to reach the top level, that means you're going to really have to be on it as if you want it to be your job. Even if you want to reach the little level, you still want to take it seriously enough. So now, after you ask yourself that question, the first best advice I give you on how to get the most out your bass playing is to practice. Not just practice, but have quality practice time. Not so much quantity. It's not how much you practice, it's how you practice. So even if you have 10 minutes a day to practice, in that 10 minutes, are you getting the most out of that practice time? And what do I mean by the most? Do you have a schedule on what you're going to be doing? Are you locked in? Or do you have a pattern of what you're going to practice and not just, it's not on? Something like that. But do you have structure in your practice time? Structure symbolizes quality in bass playing. When you're, especially in practicing, if you only have 10 minutes, then I do it a lot. I don't have time to practice 2 and 3 hours. So when I do practice, I make sure I pick up my bass every day. And this is what I do, literally, as of now, August 17th, I think, 18th, 2015. If I only have a little bit of time, I'm going to make sure as soon as I get it, I'm going to run down a chromatic scale, up and down the neck, up and down the fretboard. After that, I'm going to do the major scale in every key, up and down the fretboard. Even if I only have time to do those two things, that's quality because it's structure. And that's going to help me in the long run. So when I'm playing songs, I can be able to groove with it and know some things and have hand development and everything. And that just gives you good structure. So quality practice time. The next thing to do to get the most out your playing. If you ever experience coming to a dry spot where it feels as though you are practicing, but you feel as though you're not, eclipsing that next level, what you want to do is stop what you're doing, because I've experienced this all the time, and this is a part of growth. Some people get lost in and get content in this area and just fade away, but some of those people like me and like most of you watching, you find a way to kick that ceiling. Do you kick a ceiling? To punch the ceiling and go further. What I do personally, if I feel as though I'm not really progressing, I feel like, okay, yeah, it sounds good, but I need to be doing more. What I do immediately is listen to somebody that's where I want to be, that is where I want to be. And I do this on a regular, and that's something you should do on a regular to get the most out of your playing. Listen to somebody who you know is better than you, who is where you want to be. For example, I listen to Mono Neon every day. That man is crazy. I listen to my young boys, who's younger than me, who's killing, because that's where I want to be. And that's being humble as well, to listen to somebody that's younger than you, who may have started around the same time as you. And humility will take you a long way. So if you feel as though you may be getting content or you in that dry spot, immediately make sure you listen to someone who's better than you. Because a lot of the time, that's where the contentness come in. The best player you hear is yourself. And that should never be the case. That should never be the case, because it will stunt you. You would think your roses, that your poop smell like roses and everything. And it really don't. So you always want to listen to somebody who's better than you. Victor Wooten, Stanley Clark, Jocko, all these mainstream players. If you're in the gospel industry, Morgan Turner, Jay Bratton, what's his name? I forget. Terrence Palmer, Snoop, who played for Fred Hammond, and so many more bass players. Daddy is Young. You want to listen to players that's where you want to be, because that will keep you humble and that will keep you hungry. And you always want to be humble and hungry because you're willing to do whatever it takes. So never get content. And if you get in that dry state where you think, okay, yeah, I'm kind of here, I don't need nothing, or your thoughts may play, yeah, you don't gotta listen to nobody else, because I still be having those thoughts. You know what I mean? I'm far from the level that those players I just named is. But I don't let that faze me, my own thoughts, when they try to say, yeah, you good, you this and that. Like, no, I'm not. I'm not as good as I think I am. I'm not as good as I want to be. And that's when you have that reality check to let yourself know, I'm not as good as I think I am. Yes, I have got better than when I first started. But that's good. But there's so much more to do and to learn. And when you're humble and you're hungry, you do away with those thoughts. Because that's just the enemy trying to take because he fell by pride. That's when iniquity was found in his heart. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to be like Satan. I'm not trying to preach to you, but I'm just saying. You never want to be prideful. Because the pride will get you to be content. The pride will, just in your mind. You don't even got to walk around arrogant. Just in your mind. You be most humblest cat outwardly, but in your mind, you're just prideful. Like, yeah, I know I'm good. I don't really have to practice and all this. And when you think that and you believe that and your actions show that, you're on a slippery downward slope. So don't do it. We all have those thoughts. And I'm speaking real, what I know, what I've experienced with my own self. Till this day, August 18th or 19th, 2015. Just to let you know, if you are experiencing any of this, it's not uncommon. We all go through it. You just want to stay humble and you want to stay hungry. So, quality practice time. Determine what level you want to be at. Take it seriously. Always listen to somebody who's where you want to be or who's better than you. And you should always know a person. And another thing to get the most out your playing is what I'm going to start doing more is record yourself and listen to yourself. Because that will really elevate your playing and it will help you with your timing when you start, doing crazy stuff and snapping. It will really line you up rhythmically and keep you structured with your timing and actually what you're going to do is to listen to yourself, record yourself. I know when I record myself, I listen, and that's another way to stay humble. Listen to you, record yourself, and listen to yourself. You're like, that's me, because a couple recordings I got on my computer, I'm like, oh my gosh, I suck. That's disgusting. Like, you play that? I'm like, no. Some recording, you're like, oh, okay, that's nice. But practice time, record yourself. Because that's really going to help you recognize first where you're at as a bass player. And secondly, you're going to see the mistakes you're making, whether if it's a articulation mistake or you're holding a note too long or too short, how fast or how accurately you're getting to the progressions and more stuff like that. Recording yourself will take your playing to your quality playing to a whole new level. Because it's going to force you to make sure you get this right. Because nobody wants to sound like a hot mess. You don't want to be loud and wrong. If you loud and right, people can do that. But you don't want to be loud and wrong. So record yourself. At least once a week. If not, every time you practice. Record yourself playing a song. Either with the track or just by yourself and try to keep rhythm. And another thing, get the most out your playing is use a metronome when you practice. And I'm guilty. I started, but I wasn't consistent. And I stopped. But I'm going to go back since I'm doing this video so that I won't be a castaway because I'm not doing the advice that I'm telling y'all. Practice with a metronome. It will line your timing up. Because that's all that really matters. Being a musician, timing is really all that matters. Can you keep time? And being as a bass, you're going to have to, you and the drummer has to be locked. So, and that's another thing to get the most out your playing. Lock with your drummer. If your timing is right, his timing is right, you're grooving. You want to have good timing. Practice timing. You will get that listening to a metronome. Okay, so this has been 13 minutes. I hope it was a help to anybody. And if you can relate or testify to any of the things that I've been telling you, definitely leave your comment. Because we're a family. You've been subscribing and commenting and liking and sharing. And I want to give something back to you. And this is what I think I know I can give back to you. Just tips and advice on how to get the most out your playing. So when you're watching my lesson, you're watching it with a new focus now. You know what I mean? Or you know why you're watching it. With a purpose. And I'm going to get quality out of it. And it's going to help me take my playing to a new level. Because y'all looking at me to deliver quality bass lessons. And that's just so we feel the love of each other. Because y'all my family, not, you know what I mean? I love y'all. Alright? So this your boy Ray J, over and out.